It's Babylon AD right here on your Classic Metal Show with The Kid Goes Wild. And talk about going wild.
Yeah.
Anthony Cumia of Opie and Anthony show on XM Sirius XM, whatever. Yeah. He got fired Wednesday for an incident that he apparently tweeted about on his own time, on his own Twitter account, and had nothing to do with the radio show aside from the fact that he is a known radio show host.
Correct.
So it had nothing to do with what he did on the air. It had nothing to do with his job. It just had to do with him as an individual.
Right. He was basically, as the story goes, as he said, he was taking pictures in New York City at night, and some woman that got in one of the pictures took offense to it and came over and started punching him in the face.
Right.
Called him a white motherfucker and started beating him up. And then he started running his mouth back, and then a bunch of 5 brothers came up on him, and and he got out of there. Basically what happened was he ran his mouth and then got out of there.
Right.
And then he took it to Twitter and started tweeting about the woman, and then people were animals and savages and blah, blah, blah.
Well, the story goes, Anthony Cumia, one half of the Sirius XM comedy show, The Opie and Anthony Show, claims to have been assaulted by a woman in Times Square Tuesday. According to his Twitter feed, he apparently was trying to take photos of the area when a woman was caught in the frame. When she objected to being in the photo, she allegedly started punching him. He responded by calling her a cunt. Unbelievable.
Amazing.
What language?
That's so bad. He called somebody that was assaulting him a name.
Right. How dare he call her a name?
She doesn't deserve that.
No, I agree. He should be fired. Now that I read that for myself, he should be fired.
Yeah.
Because I never heard that kind of language before.
Cunt!
Ooh, easy.
Well, anyway, he said that Cumia then took to Twitter for hours for a quote-unquote racist, violent tirade.
Okay, that's the what publication is giving this story, by the way?
This is Gawker.
Oh, the fucking cocksuckers that fucking started this problem.
Right.
Okay.
The only reason I chose this is because they have all of his Twitter feeds up there.
Okay.
Here's the picture that got the horror bitch piece of cunt all pissy. Okay. Now, according to XM Sirius,
yes,
the reason that they fired him is because of his quote-unquote racist rant.
Mm-hmm. So
as we read these Twitter feeds,
yes,
let's determine what would be considered racist.
Okay.
Okay?
Fair
so
enough.
his first Twitter feed said, here's the picture that the whore bitch piece of cunt got all pissy. Okay. Racist or just
angry?
Angry.
I'll go with angry.
Any racism in there?
Nope.
Okay. This is just a small smattering of what appears to be innumerable amounts of quote-unquote awful tweets by the comedy host.
Fuck off, Gawker.
Awful tweets.
Yeah, Gawker can fucking suck a bag of fucking black dicks.
Right.
That's right. I said it. Black dicks.
Right.
Cocksuckers.
So he goes on to explain via the Twitter.
All right.
So I'm taking pics in New York City, and a black girl who was in the frame punched me in the face.
Okay.
I called her a fucking cunt because that's what she was.
Okay.
Racist or just angry?
Angry.
No racism there.
Why? Because he used the word black?
No, I'm just asking the question. I'm not saying is there any racism there.
None that I hear.
None that I hear either. Then he says, shortly after, Then she punched me 5 more times. She's lucky I was a white legal gun owner or she'd be dead. Then 5 blacks started giving me shit.
Okay.
Racist or just angry or just describing the scene?
Sounds like describing the scene. I mean, the closest to racism would be him saying that he's a white gun owner, but that's not really racism.
Well,
that's just,
but he said white legal gun owner.
It's still not racist.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that to make it clear that he's saying that he's packing heat, as it were.
Yeah.
But he's legally doing it. He's not a guy who just stole a gun and he's got it under his coat.
Right.
He's registered legal gun owner.
Correct.
Which Anthony is a big advocate for gun rights.
Right, of course.
Then the next one, he says, I told them to back the fuck off. This wasn't their show. The cunt then punched me again. Seems white boys don't hit back. Lucky Savage.
Okay.
Racist or just angry?
Angry. There's nothing racist there.
Okay. Then he says, wish a cop was around. Although she said she'd tell them I sexually harassed her, lying cunt, I hope she gets shot in her ass, fuckface, ugh.
Nothing racist there either.
Didn't hear anything racist at all.
I've been a friend of that guy's for 30 years.
A lot of hot topic going around. What is your thought?
Well, it doesn't surprise me that he said those things. That doesn't surprise me. And he shouldn't have said it. And he just hurt himself by talking too much and doing things that he shouldn't be doing. And I tell you, I don't wish that girl any bad luck, but I hope she gets hit with a car.
Well, maybe Aunt hoped that this lady got hit with a car.
All right. Then the next quote is, they aren't people.
Okay. Well, I'm going to assume that they is the 5 people and the fucking bitch.
Right.
That's my assumption.
Okay. Then the next tweet is...
That, by the way, is where everybody's claiming racism.
Really?
Yeah.
Where's the racist remark there?
They're saying, because they're trying to insinuate that he's saying all black people.
Oh, I say.
And not the 5
ones that assaulted him.
That assaulted him, and the one that assaulted him and the 5 that came up to back her.
Okay. Basically it's interjecting their thoughts and not exactly what he said.
Of course they are.
All right. Then he says, I'm fucking livid. If I was an illegal savage, I'd have her shot.
Okay.
Then the IR violence in her, I guess he must have misspelled this, but it says the IR violence in her was so predictable. I hope she gets killed.
Okay.
Okay.
Mean, but that doesn't matter.
It's a mean thing to say. I agree.
Yeah, but so what?
Okay. It's a jungle out there in our cities after midnight. Violent savages own the streets.
Okay.
Is he saying anybody specifically, or is he just saying that violent savage type behavior rules the streets at night?
That's what he's saying. It could be white guys or black guys.
Could be anybody.
Is there anybody?
Could be anybody.
Yeah.
They all came to defend this pig. I had to yell at them like dogs.
Okay.
Did you get any photos of her? Yep. Animal, pig, fuck, cunt, bitch.
Okay.
Okay. What the fuck for no reason? Reason? I was white.
Okay.
Savage, violent animal fucks prey on white people. Easy targets. This cunt has no clue how lucky she was. She belted me 10 times, and I had a gun.
Yeah, still no racism to me.
So what started this? I was taking pictures in Times Square and she was in the pics. Violent was her answer. Animal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The cunt animal walked into my arm I had up as a block saying, "Don't touch me," then would hit me. I hope a homeboy beats her to death.
Okay.
The automatic jump to violence in that community is astounding. No discussion. It's start punching at the least little thing. Uncivilized.
Sure. Now they'll claim that community is the black community instead of either downtown New York City or the hookers that are working downtown or whatever. But it's an ambiguous statement.
Okay.
It's not really defined.
So a question was asked, a female beat you? No, an animal bitch used it as instinctual violence on me. I restrained myself from putting it to sleep.
Funny.
Question, did you hit her back? Answer, I was fooled by my upbringing. Don't hit a woman. But this was an animal. I should have smashed its face.
Yeah, I agree with him there.
The switch to violence is immediate, no discussion, just violence. When will that be addressed? Oh, right, never. Slavery did it. Oh, okay. Hail and kill caller, you're on the air.
Can I start chiming in now?
All right, what do you got to say?
Okay. What he's doing, yes, it's ambiguous. What he's doing, sociologists actually call dog whistling.
Dog whistling?
Yes.
Okay, explain.
It's using veiled language so that, it's like walking right up to the line, but not quite crossing it, so that you always had that thing, well, I didn't say anything specific, but that, certain people know exactly.
So it's implied.
Yes, it's implicit language with a racial overtone.
Okay, but the fact is he wasn't blatantly racist by just coming right out and saying this stupid nigger attacked me. Now, did he?
No, he didn't. But I mean, look, come on. Let me just tell you, I grew up in a little town full of crackers.
Full of what?
A family full of crackers. I know what they're saying when they say things like savage and animal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
you don't have to.
But the thing is that you're using that terminology to say that everybody knows what that means.
I think it's widely known enough so that.
How about this?
I really don't think what he's saying is all that ambiguous. It's just ambiguous enough that he you notice he does all this, but he doesn't quite come right out and say it. And then later on in the Twitter chat, he makes a reference to the N-bomb.
Here's my question to you, Doghouse. Okay. Where in the world does I'm going to go with your theory here, and I kind of agree with you. But where in the world does it state that he can't have those feelings? Why can't? Why?
You know what? I kind of agree with you because how many times have we seen celebrities having to apologize for saying this, that, or the other thing, and it's stupid because they don't mean it. They're only sorry because they got caught.
Yeah, I mean, why is it that he couldn't just? But my problem remains the same. Why could this guy not say, this stupid nigger bitch fucking punched me in the face, and then these 5 other stupid niggers came up on me? Why can't he say that?
Maybe,
why is that such
maybe he might have gotten away with that. But no, it's almost like he's calling for a race war at some point, because he's going on saying, well, it's a battle and we're losing.
Well, but that's his opinion. He doesn't have to agree with the fucking community. He doesn't have to agree with the moral majority.
No, he doesn't.
He can absolutely advocate. He can absolutely. I love this bullshit that you got to fucking suck the dick of Black History Month and you got to suck the dick of black this and black that. But God forbid you can say black power all you want, but the minute you fucking put your hand up and say white power, they're ready to fucking kill you. Fuck off.
Well, look at it this way. he's a public figure. He's been in radio, 20 years, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Here's a guy who got fired from his gig in Boston because of a stupid stunt where he said that the mayor of Boston was killed. Mm-hmm. Here's a guy who lost his gig on terrestrial radio for 2 years, for doing a stupid stunt with sex in church. He knows what being a public figure entails. He knows what being, the public face of your employer, of your corporate employer entails.
Well, but here's the thing. Even with that history of the stunts that got him fired, XM Sirius still hired him.
Yes, they did.
And rehired him. They've had at least 2 contract renewals.
So it's not as if XM Sirius doesn't know who they're dealing with here. And what he said in his Twitter feed is extremely tame compared to the things that are actually verbalized on the show.
That makes me wonder if there's something more going on behind the scenes.
Well, here's my challenge to you, Doghouse.
To let this guy go.
Here's a challenge, and I challenge every fan to do this. So, no secret, the golden child at fucking Sirius XM, Howard Stern, right?
Sure.
Google Howard Stern blackface. Why does he still work
Mama Look a Boo Boo Day?
Yeah, why does he still work there? If Anthony
Okay, I'll tell you. Explain this one. I'm glad you asked.
Go ahead.
Because Howard is doing it as satire and parody, and Anthony is just pissed off, and there's nothing funny about what he did. There's no attempt at...
But he didn't do it on the show. He wasn't trying to entertain anybody. Who is forcing you or Gawker or anybody else to subscribe to his fucking Twitter feed? No one.
But again, he's the public face of the company, and
he's not the I don't accept that. I do not accept that. He is not the public face of the company. He's an employee of that company. He is nothing more than an employee of that company. His fame should have his fame should, if they don't want him, if Sirius XM is going to have a problem with this guy saying this kind of stuff, then they can't let him fucking say it on the radio every goddamn day. And I'm a fan of the show to know that he talks about racist stuff every goddamn day. They can't, the only reason they're firing him right now is because the fucking national media picked up on it. Not because he set a precedent by twittering this racist shit. He was twittering this kind of shit all the time.
Okay.
All the time.
As somebody who's only been an infrequent listener, I will bow to you on this because I don't listen every fucking day because I don't think they're that great. I didn't think they were that great when I lived in Pennsylvania and they were trying to be on this station out of Philly. They were trying to turn into like Howard Stern all day long with 3 or 4 different shock jock shows, and they were on it.
Let me address one that just came up in the chat room because that another point that I think is dead fucking wrong. Mr. Scary in the chat room. If XM does nothing or say they have no problem, basically he's saying that that XM has to do something because of Anthony's statements. I disagree with that too. XM, what they should have said is very simple. Or Sirius or whatever the fuck they are now. They should have come out and said, we do not agree with his statements. In fact, we find them disgusting, whatever. But as a company that advocates free speech in the First Amendment, he's allowed to say it. Period. Come out and make your little corporate
The government
statement.
didn't fire Anthony. See, then, this First Amendment deal, everybody wants to go, what about my First Amendment rights? Well, the government didn't fire Anthony.
No.
The company fired him because he made them look bad.
A company that makes all their money, every single fucking bit of their money off of free speech, should not be firing their talent that they hire to come in and shock people. They didn't hire Anthony Cumia to come in and read news. That's not why they brought him to fucking XM. That's not why they pay him an exorbitant amount of money every year. They pay him to shake the fucking tree.
Okay, and I do agree with you as far as that goes. But again, it's hard to feel sorry for it's hard to feel too sorry for Anthony because again, he had to know what he was doing.
Don't feel sorry for him. I'm not trying to say feel sorry for the guy for losing his job. What I'm trying to say is this is another fucking example of the hypocrisy and the political correctness just fucking ruining this goddamn country. Everybody in the world thinks that they're owed fucking not being offended. Well, fuck you. Sometimes you're going to be offended. If you pay attention to other people, you're going to be offended sometimes. And if you are offended, whether it's by a celebrity or it's by me or it's by you or it's by anybody, eat a bag of dicks, fucking suck it up and move on. Every time anybody offends anybody anymore, somebody's looking to cry about it.
And you know what else? Sometimes you're gonna lose your job for something you think you shouldn't lose your job for. So suck that up.
Yeah. Well, dude, but they shouldn't have. If you're going to take the guy's job away, then you can't let him fucking do it. You can't pick and choose your spots. You can't say, okay, it's fine when you're doing your job as long as nobody fucking catches you. But once you get caught, then you're fucking fired, and we're distancing ourselves from that. Fuck you. That's hypocritical.
Well, there's that point also.
In a minute here, Doghouse, I'm going to play a segment that played on the Opie and Anthony show that is like 10 times worse than these Twitter feeds.
Okay, but again, before you play it, I'm going to guess that it's probably done with at least some bit of humor in mind.
Not always.
It seems like you can get away with more stuff if you do it in a humorous way and you're good at it. But when you're just popping off, look at fucking what's her name, Dr. Laura, saying nigger 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 on the air, and she lost her job and she said, "Oh, I was just trying to be funny." No, you weren't. You weren't being funny. You were popping off.
And why? But Dr. Laura doesn't make her living as a shock jock.
That's true.
Dr. Laura makes her living giving parental advice or whatever.
She's a therapist.
Part of her brand was, this straight talking, no bullshit type of person.
Well, she's a therapist. She's not a comedian.
And she's not even a doctor either, for the record. I mean, she is a doctor, but her doctorate is not even in psychology or anything. But that's neither here nor there.
I just think the whole thing is once again ludicrous. It's the same. We talked about this on the show 3-4 weeks ago or whatever about why we won't go back to fucking terrestrial radio, why we won't take this show back to Sirius XM, which we've had offers to do. And this is why.
Yeah, I guess that kills that deal.
Yeah, well, this is why we would never do it. It kills it on our end. I don't give a fuck what Sirius thinks. It kills it on our end. Why would we do that? Why would we watch somebody do something less than what we do on the show?
After Jeff Tate is black, you'd never get on there.
Well, the thing is, Doghouse, and it just boils down to this. You read off the laundry list of things that Opie and Anthony had done which caused them to get fired, and they still got hired by Sirius XM anyway, in spite of those things. And yet, when he goes off on a rant that isn't even show-related, then he gets fired for it.
Well, I mean, nowadays, there's so much, radio-wise, there's so much more than just the show. I mean, you got to have your social media shit, and it's like, it almost seems like these people are on capital O all the time, because they got to be on their Twitter, and they got to be on their fucking Facebook and all that shit.
Right. You're right. You're definitely right. And because of that, though, these companies should have more. Here's my biggest I have a million problems with this thing, but this is my biggest problem with Sirius XM. These motherfuckers are firing the talent out of fear of the investors instead of fucking supporting the talent that fucking makes the money to support the goddamn company.
Okay, and I can agree with you on that.
They're going to lose, let's be real, they're going to lose 50,000 subscribers tomorrow.
Really?
Or Monday. When they come on Monday and say, it's now the Opie and Jim show, 50,000 people are gone.
Speaking of which, Jim is probably rubbing his hands together about this.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so at all. It would surprise me none if Opie and Jim came on the show Monday and said, we're fucking out of here.
Well, how about this? You ever think the whole thing might be a publicity stunt?
I don't think so.
No way.
Because I mean, somebody asks Anthony at one point, "Did you call the police?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, are you kidding?"
There's no way.
So basically, we only have Anthony's word for the whole thing.
That's against the law for Sirius to fucking fake fire somebody that would affect the stock price.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because that would be influencing the market
They're
under false pretenses.
They're a publicly traded company.
Don't radio guys fake their firing or fake their quitting all the time?
But the thing is, Sirius
put out a statement.
The Sirius put out a statement, and Sirius is a company that has publicly held stock.
Okay, so that if they put out an official statement, that sort of makes it official.
And there's an official statement that says that they cut ties with them.
Okay.
No, it's not a stunt. He's fired. There's no question he's fired.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, big picture, I agree with you, but in this particular case, I'm not shedding any tears over Anthony. I mean, look, Anthony has this experience in the park, and we only hear his side of it. So what does Anthony do? He goes for the easy stuff first. He just goes right for the easy stuff.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. That's the whole point. It's just fucking words. Who cares? Who cares? Who would be offended if Gawker didn't fucking reach out and put it out there?
True.
Who would be offended?
Granted, most people don't even know who Opie and Anthony are.
That's true.
The point.
That's the whole thing. It's just that this is what this guy does every day. He does this every day, but the media doesn't pay attention to it. But now that it's a media story, now it's a problem.
Yeah. SiriusXM proved that they have no fucking soul and no fucking heart and no fucking balls to protect their talent. None. Should he have been suspended?
Just like every other radio company, right?
I think for sure they probably should have suspended him. They absolutely should have said, we can't have this. Make your little public statement, blah, blah, blah. This is not conducive to what we do. Blah, 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 blah. Suspend him for a month. You fucking deal with it. They didn't. What they did was cowered to the fucking political correct police once again, instead of fucking standing up and saying, this company that makes all of their money off of Shock Jock fucking radio, Howard Stern, Opie and Anthony, Jason Ellis, etc., this conglomerate that makes hundreds of millions of dollars off of this kind of talk.
A company that would be bankrupt without them.
Yeah, right. And they don't stand up for the talent. That's bullshit, man.
That kind of makes me think that maybe Opie and Anthony were there was more behind the scenes, that maybe they were kind of the low-hanging fruit of the bunch.
The more that's behind the scenes is that their contract ends in fucking October.
Oh, So, in other words, they could have just waited 3 months and not signed them.
Well, they could have, but it's an easy out. It's an easy out to not let them do like a lot of radio shows do when they ride their contract out, which is fucking position for the next gig, just like Howard did when he left fucking CBS when he was, doing all his promoting of Sirius.
Howard did it a million times. Every Shock Jock show did it when it came contract time and screamed on the air about how much money they should be getting.
Right.
Like listeners care about that.
Right. But that's what they all do, and this is an easy out to not have that problem now, isn't it?
Sure is.
But, it's pathetic, dude.
I think, like you say, a month suspension, I think that would be fair, because honestly, being somebody that's, grown up around ignorant people and just trying not to be an ignorant person himself, what he did really wasn't very cool. And, cutting out all the self-righteous, indignant bullshit, we know exactly what he was talking about, even if he didn't come right out and say it.
But even it doesn't matter. It's the bigger picture of this fucking country right now. Everybody wants to fucking not get their fucking... no one wants sand kicked in their pussy. But in the old days when somebody did that, fucking... You had to suck it up and deal with it. Now, so many goddamn special interests out there that will fucking defend instead of just saying, look, you are owed nothing. You are not owed not being offended. I'm allowed to offend you. That's my right. My right is I'm allowed to tell you that you're a fucking piece of shit, and you don't have the right to fucking do anything about it. You can act, But legally you're not supposed to have any recourse to it. You're allowed to be offended. Nowadays, the minute any fucking group, if you can get a large enough group to make enough noise that you're offended, then fucking somebody's going down over it. It's fucking bullshit.
Well, like with Donald Sterling, he just happens to own a company that employs a sizable number of black people with a strong union backing.
Right. Why do you think that Donald Sterling... Go ahead.
Here's the deal I make with people when we have this discussion, because I've had it before.
Okay.
If I agree, I won't be offended. Then you gotta agree, you won't be offended. That's all well and good when somebody else is offended, but when you're offended, it's a whole different story.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you on that. Me and Neeley have joked on this show, and Doghouse, you're a long-time listener. As long as you've been listening, you've heard me and Neeley say over and over again, it's not bad until we cross your line. And then it's bad. And this is the same fucking thing. Opie and Anthony can be on Sirius XM saying anything that they fucking want to say. They can talk bad about women. They can stick women in fucking 55-gallon drums and drop eels and bugs and shit on them and, do anything that they want to fucking do. And nobody has a problem until their line is crossed. And then when their line is crossed, then it's a fucking problem. Sex for Sam, back in 2002 was the same fucking thing. It wasn't a problem that the radio station knew that they were having a competition to fucking have people running around New York City having sex in strange places. They advertised it for weeks that that's what they were going to do. Radio station, no fucking problem at all with it. Only time it became a problem, when someone filed a complaint.
You remember that station out in California where some woman is like, she drank 6 gallons of water and then she died.
Yeah,
she was trying to.
Yeah, she was trying to win concert tickets, and she drank.
She's trying to win a Wii.
Oh, that's right. Win a Wii. Yeah, hold your Wii
for a Wii.
Right.
These stations have legal departments that okay every contest.
Right.
They only had a problem when somebody died.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the whole point. The point is these stations will set these guys up, ask them to do a job. When they do the job, then they fucking penalize them for it. Then they fire them. It happens over and over and over again. Now, Anthony's the biggest name that's been fired of the shock jocks, I think.
Imus.
Yeah. I mean, Imus wasn't fired, was he?
No, he
was. Yeah, he was. He was.
Is he fired or was he suspended?
He was suspended, and the groups were calling for his firing, but because he apologized, then everything was all right.
You all know the Grease Man out of Washington. His show sucked, but he got fired for. He played part of a Lauryn Hill song, and he said something like, "No wonder people drag them behind trucks."
Yeah. Okay. And he shouldn't have been fired for that, as far as I'm concerned. Nobody should ever be fired for fucking speech. I know that's not First Amendment. I know that's just fucking an opinion, but no one should ever be fired. No shock jock person, and really no person in any of the media should be fired for something that they say, unless it's something absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it's got to be the news guy going on the news and saying, everybody that's married, kill your wife tonight.
What about somebody like Marge? What about somebody like Marge Schott?
Why? Because she was a racist? So what? She still fucking did. Again, there's two. If we're going to go to racism, we can go to racism. Racism, there is speech, and then there is legal practice. Legally, you have to follow certain guidelines with race as far as your hiring practices and businesses and whatnot. Morally, you don't have to ever fucking like people of another race. You don't have to. Don't have to be polite about them in the comfort of your own home. You don't have to fucking try to get along with people of any other race. You can absolutely legally be a race hater. You're allowed to hate people of another race. You're just not allowed to own a business as a race hater and not hire people of that race.
And you could be fired as a race hater because you don't get along with people.
Okay, and that's fine. But if you own the company, you said Marge Schott, so I'm going with she owned the Reds. Marge Schott did not put an all-white team on the field.
Did she hire any Jews, I wonder?
I don't know. She probably did in the accounting department, but that's a whole nother story.
That's a stereotype, Chris, and I'm going to have to distance myself from that comment.
Am I fired now?
Yeah, you're fired.
Make him apologize.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, everybody. I made a Jewish joke.
Yeah, you were making a stereotypical joke, and that's not tolerated here.
No, that's not tolerated. But see, you know what the sad part was? It is if we were on Sirius XM right now and I made that joke, odds are right now I would be fucking suspended.
I bet you probably wouldn't.
You don't know that. With all
Unless
the
you did
buzz
it on
on
your
Sirius
Twitter.
XM right now because of Anthony?
No, you know what? Again, there's that line between intentionally being humorous and just blowing off steam and
Yeah,
just
but
showing your true colors.
who's the judge of that?
And why does it matter? Why
Intent.
would that? I don't understand why you think that matters.
Intent counts for a lot, I think.
Why? But why?
But who's the judge of intent?
And where does my intent to be mean? Where does that translate to? I shouldn't say it on the radio. Why do I have to not be mean on the radio?
And the other thing is, Doghouse, Sirius XM is a subscription service. It's not for just free public consumption. You have to pay for that and be a member to get that.
Sure.
So it's not like everybody could just turn their dial in and accidentally stumble across that. You know what you're getting when you're buying that premium channel.
But see, I don't want to even go to that point. Even if you don't, why do I have to not offend people? Why is there some thought that I have to take any segment of people, whether it's black, white, Jews, women, guys, whatever, pet owners, whatever? Why does anyone assume that I am not allowed to offend them? On the radio, in real life, anywhere. It's this fucking political correct bullshit. I am allowed to be offensive. There's no law that says I can't be offensive.
Especially if it's what you're hired for, basically, like you pointed out.
But that's an addition to my point. My point is there's no fucking law that says you can't be offended. Further, if you're hired in a job to rattle everybody's cage, to make people shake their head and go, can you believe he just fucking said that? Then that's more reason that you should be allowed to be offensive, not less.
And I agree that intent is kind of an intangible thing, but you can, and you know from your personal life, you can say things with a smile and just people that know that you're just playing around. Mm-hmm. And then you could say the same thing without a smile and just clearly be, intentionally vicious about it.
Yeah.
And it changes the complexion of what you said.
Yeah, and neither one of them is illegal.
No, neither one of them is illegal, but they can fire him for whatever they want.
Well, you're right. They can. They absolutely can. And they did. But they didn't fire him because of, I don't care what their fucking statement says. They did not fire him because of his statements. They fired him because of the media backlash. They did not fire this guy because of what he said. And that's the problem that I have with it. They let the guy fucking think that what he was doing was okay with the company. For years he's been going on these racist tangents. And the only time they fired him is when the fucking media shook the goddamn chain. Only time.
He took it outside of the little subscription club and took it onto the open Twitter.
But he's had an open Twitter that's had all kinds of shit for at least a year.
That bad?
On that level, sometimes absolutely. But then again, you go back to intent and what they were meaning to say and everything. But that's nonsense. The point is that Sirius XM, the O&A show, when Anthony gets rolling, a lot of times he'll bring up race stuff. They let that fucking go. They let him have his personal Twitter where he rails against races, against black people here and there over the course of the tweets and stuff that he's done over several years, and nothing was done. So they did not have a problem with it until it fucking hit the major media.
And it looked like it might affect their reputation somehow in the eyes of the media.
Right, and that's when they fired him.
And they were afraid they might lose stockholders and shareholders and advertisers and shit.
That's exactly it. And that's. I personally think that Anthony's going to sue fucking SiriusXM, and he's going to win big. He's going to win big because he can prove years worth of fucking nobody doing anything about it.
Yeah, there's been a precedent set already.
Yeah, so they can't. They cannot fucking say, well, now it's wrong.
Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
You know, I think I pretty much, stated my case. No tears over Anthony because I think he's a stupid motherfucker.
Well, regardless of that, that isn't really the issue here. The issue here is that this country, especially, has gone out of control when it comes to being offended.
Especially when there might be stockholders involved.
Well, yeah, but the thing is everybody's afraid of being having a bad light shed on them just because. But they'll allow it any other time. But any time that the light is shed on it, then it's a problem.
But it always seems to be where they might lose money over the deal.
Right, money trumps everything. Always.
It's never like, well, man, I feel bad. I said that. I shouldn't have said that. And when I feel like an asshole, I don't want people to think I'm an asshole. It's always like, I might lose this deal.
Yeah, but it doesn't. But that's the whole point. Is never should it fucking matter. Never. It should never matter. Anybody that's in the business of fucking communications on the radio, it should never have to worry about. Should never have to worry about being fired for offering an opinion that is fucking controversial. Because that is what you're hired to do.
And that I can't argue with. And on that note, I think I'll let, Tim James call or somebody.
Right.
Maybe MOL because he's a big O and A,
Exactly.
nut swinger.
All right, Doghouse. Hail and kill.
Fuck you. Fuck you, pal.
All right, there he goes. I know other people in the chat room have been trying to call. 800-497-5891. 800-497-5891. You can call now. So, anyway, the thinking there with most people, just they don't get the bigger picture. It's not about Anthony getting fired. It's about the philosophy behind it.
It's the exact same thing as when you fucking argue a point about the fucking president making a bad call and they call you a racist.
Right.
Because it's an easy fucking out.
Exactly. Hail and kill caller, you're on the air.
Hey, boys, this is Gilp Dog.
What's up, Gilp Dog? What's happening?
Well, I'm pretty pissed off about this shit.
All right. Well, be succinct and be direct and don't be like John Rufo at the beginning of the show and dance around the subject. Come straight out and tell us what you're thinking.
Well, I do have a couple of weird theories, and one of them is that I wonder if perhaps Anthony's a smart guy. They've talked on the show a lot about, you can't say things like you used to be able to say, and kind of like they would. He always says, I can say this right now, but I'd get in trouble, even though I should be able to say it. Anthony was smart enough to know that thing on Twitter was probably going to get him in trouble. So I kind of wonder if maybe they just knew they weren't going to re-sign in October, and he just said, fuck it. But I'm not sure about that.
So basically,
but Chris is right. They said way more racist things on the show than that.
Well, so basically what you're saying is that you think Anthony may have had the thought that, what do I have to lose?
Maybe, yeah, because they haven't seemed happy lately anyway if you listen to the show a lot.
Yeah, well, and not that I'm going to be honest, I don't necessarily agree with you, which I'll get into in a little bit, but I'm going to let you make your point. just for food for thought for your part, for your point, Gilp, is that of the three of them, Opie and Jim's contract end in October, but Ant, when he resigned for a 4-year deal, so he still had 2 years on his deal.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, he still had 2 more years to go.
Well,
so,
shit.
not that I don't agree with your theory, and I'll tell you why I don't agree. I don't agree with your theory because of Norton's reaction on Twitter. Norton came out and was like, don't know what's going to happen, have no idea, but the way he came across in his response was like, he doesn't know what the fuck's going to happen. So if it was some plan, you would think that he would have, either been quiet or just been like, okay, everything's cool, everything's going to be okay.
Yeah, I do respect Anthony a lot, because on Friday he alluded on his Twitter that they asked him to apologize, and he will not fucking do that. And he probably might have saved his job if he had done so.
Yeah, but what has he got to apologize for?
He didn't do anything
wrong. That's what I mean. He shouldn't have to, and he's sticking to his guns, and that's great. He probably could have saved himself, and I guess he's got better standards than that. Anyway, I'll get my stupid stuttering ass off here. So, hail and kill, fuck you, pal, and hey, y'all!
There goes Gilp Dog. 800-497-5891. 800-497-5891.
Yeah.
So, again, this just goes back to, people. I read that other places people think that this is a hoax and this is a setup and this is just one of their stunts and, but I don't believe that.
I don't think it is at all.
All right, got another call. Hail and kill caller, you're on the air.
Hail and kill, it's AOR Rocks.
What's up, AOR?
Not a whole lot. Here's a take that many people don't catch with this stuff. Like with Paula Deen, when they tried chastising her and they tried flaming her and destroying her, all the networks were doing was gaining support by the black community. The sponsors were gaining black support by taking action against her. So it was a turn to twist the event to draw in more money and support. And many people don't catch this. It's a marketing ploy that they use to force people to follow this politically correct bullshit and, profit off of it at the same time while destroying somebody and bringing in something new.
Well, what about the people who fall out because of it? What about the supporters that supported like a Paula Deen but then choose not to support because of her being chastised? Don't you think that the people who cash out, as it were, outnumber the people who decide that they're going to jump in?
Sure, I believe it can go both ways, but I also think if people somehow was able to actually check, all of a sudden now you got ratings going up for these companies saying, oh yeah, we're taking action against this because we don't believe in it. Either way it goes, it's kind of a win, even if somebody says, like you were saying, if they pull out and say, okay, well, we're supporting her for her viewpoints, but at the same time, it looks like as far as the general public goes, it's being pulled out, so they're in support of her not being able to do that, and they're, everybody's been thinking, one way. They're only seeing it from the side of, well, obviously the sponsors weren't, liking this, so they pulled out. So
here's the problem. Here's the problem with your theory, though, dude. When you're talking about public TV or public air, where it's ratings based and it's advertising dollars based on ratings, that's based on a free
platform.
With Sirius XM, they're going to immediately lose 50,000 subscribers. The last I heard, the O&A channel had 200,000 subscribers. That's numbers that I heard. I don't know if that's even close to real or not, but I'm throwing 50,000 out there as a pretty realistic number of people that only listen to O&A. That's why they keep their sub. So if they lose 50,000, I know it's $14.99 a month. My math is terrible, but I'm going to say that that's $750,000 a month. Is that close to right? $15 times 50,000.
Yeah, I'd agree.
So that means every month they're going to lose just $750,000
$750,000
every month. That's direct impact right now because advertising is not what powers Sirius XM. Subscribers do. And do you really think that there's going to be $750,000 worth of new money coming in from the black community over firing Anthony Cumia, a guy who they've never heard on the fucking radio in their life?
Well, that is an interesting theory, and the unfortunate side is we can't see numbers to truly show all that. But I think it can go both ways. Both the way you're saying and the way I'm saying. I mean, obviously some will twist it to their favor, while some will lose in the same process as well. So it's kind of like a 50-50 take, I think. But either way, when somebody's on their own time and they're not all that, then they should be just like any other citizen, regardless of who they are otherwise. Off the air, away from the all that. It's their time, it's their views, it's their take.
And realistically, dude, you can get fired for what you say on social media. You're starting to see those stories all over the fucking place too. You're seeing all kinds of shit. Teacher fired because she took fucking pictures of her in a bikini on Facebook or whatever, and you do, or because they say something on Facebook that's inappropriate or whatever. I get the world that we're in right now. My problem is not with the firing. My problem is with that everybody expects to not be offended, and it's fucking it's out of control now. It's completely out of control.
The political correctness and the bullshit that we face every day is just ludicrous, and people need to realize you got a right to voice as you feel. I mean that's something that many people earn the right to. I mean, I served in the military. I protected those rights and people's freedom and safety. So why wouldn't I have the right to say as I feel about certain things and viewpoints without being punished for it?
Right. And what people fail to realize, all these fucking crying liberal cunts, what they all fail to realize is just because they're happy because their point is being made right now, it's only a matter of time before their point of view is then considered offensive. Look at how fucking everybody's turning on the fucking Christians right now. Now, I'm not a fucking Bible thumper by any way, shape, or form, but I will certainly fucking stand up and down for any Christian person's right to fucking support and say a prayer in school or say a prayer at work or whatever, if that's what they want to do. Yet they're trying to outlaw that everywhere they can. How is that fucking right?
Yeah, it definitely is not right. I was brought up in a Christian environment, but my take was I didn't go around preaching it in people's faces. I didn't shove it down anybody's throat, and I believe everybody's viewpoint. And who's to say whose religion is right or wrong? And if we start doing that, then there is no right or wrong. It's just whoever's in power is going to determine that, and if you don't follow suit, you're going to be punished. You
know what countries have no problems with speech offenses? North Korea.
Yep.
Because they're told what they're allowed to think and say and do. And that is, anytime anybody complains about anything anybody says, you could complain about it, but demanding that they lose their job or they lose their position or they lose anything over something that is said or spoken or whatever, you're advocating going to that kind of a lifestyle, because eventually what ends up happening is that the government steps in and says, okay, well, we're going to control every fucking thing.
Yep.
And so many fucking people, and it's mostly liberals, so many of these fucking people are too motherfucking stupid to see that. They only think in their own little bubble. Nobody looks past their own little bubble, and they don't see a fucking thing that's going on right now.
I agree with that fully. I definitely agree. Well, I'm going to let somebody else get on the air, but, like I said, I just wanted to give my view, and certainly, this is blown overboard, of course, but, I think more people need to speak up to tell these assholes to stop punishing people and start allowing people to speak what's on their mind.
Right. Agree.
That's part of the freedoms that we are supposed to be able to enjoy in this country and be able to have without any kind of persecution or any type of punishment taken towards us. And I think people are so desensitized to that, they're too stupid and ignorant to see that, or they forget that.
I agree.
All right, hell and kill, and have a great night, guys.
Hail and kill.
Hand up.
All right. There goes AOR Rocks. I was trying to find another story here because another talk show host got the boot
This week?
this week.
Really?
Every time he tried to talk about race,
Yeah.
they would go to commercial. I'm trying to find where it is here. I'm looking for it real quick.
Fucking idiots.
Yeah, every time. Well, his point was, and if I can find the story here,
Yeah.
got another call here. Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
If this is all right, I'd like to provide the counterpoint, or what I think's the counterpoint.
Well, who is this? Who is?
Oh, this is Brian. Hello.
Hey, Brian. What's up?
Look, you guys were talking about the Twitter feeds and all that, but I don't think social media is what it used to be now. You guys do know it's like the equivalent of talking in public now, yeah?
Yep. Agree.
I mean, so that's kind of it. I mean, I know I don't really display it publicly. It's not like I have an audience to really even see it anyway. But if I posted a lot of racist things, people get mad, but it would die there, yeah? But if you have tens of thousands as opposed to millions of people looking at you, it's almost equivalent to running into a crowded mall and yelling profanity and racism, even if it's closeted.
Hold on, but I'm going to counter your point there. I'm going to answer your point. There's nothing illegal about doing that. There's nothing illegal about running into a church and saying, "Hey, fuck Christ. Christ is a cunt." There's nothing illegal about doing that.
I get that, but I don't think it's so much about it being wrong, but unfortunately in the world we live in, I don't even think for 1 second I agree with all this, but it is viewed as wrong now. And so I think that's why XM felt they needed to answer so quickly.
Yeah, but see, you just hit the nail on the head. It's viewed as wrong, but there's no legality behind it. There's no legislation that says, "Hey, you can't do that." You're just saying, "Oh, it's viewed as wrong."
Right.
By who?
Well, by who? 3/4 of our population. Or
Really,
at least in the US.
3/4? I don't believe that.
Well, okay. Let me. I guess I can explain my reasoning.
All right, go ahead.
And whether you agree or not, that's fine. I respect both you guys' opinions. But look, like I live in Baton Rouge, which is
wait a minute.
mostly,
If you don't go by my opinion, you're off the air, pal. That's all I got to tell you. If you don't go by my opinion, your opinion is worthless. So fuck you. No.
I don't think you'd ever say that. But like in Baton Rouge, for example, maybe not the best example, but it is what it is. It's mainly a Democratic area, if you know what I'm implying. And
whoa, wait! Don't say shit like that. Just come straight out and say what you mean. Don't say you know what I'm implying.
You're saying it's a black neighborhood. You live in a black neighborhood.
It's a bunch of fucking thugs, and it is what or naggers. So So if I go saying those things, it would be taken badly. And then once a social attention gathers something in a bad manner like that, then I guess everyone latches on it. But it's just the world we live in now.
Okay, let's play a game here.
I'm all in. Go ahead.
Do you think that I'm only bringing this one up because there's literally a picture in the chat room? Do you think that there's a segment of people in this country right now that would find fucking bondage to be bad? Tying up a chick, sticking a ball in her mouth so she can't make noise, and then fucking the shit out of her without fucking giving her a signal or a word that she can get out of doing it.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. But is it illegal?
No, it's not illegal. I mean, it's illegal to do it in public, yeah, but I don't think...
So basically, if those... So let's say, would you say that 1/4 of the people would find that to be offensive?
See, that's a good question. Cause I feel like we're desensitized to that.
But in other words, we're desensitized to simulated rape, but we're not desensitized to the word nigger.
It absolutely sucks, but yeah, I definitely think that's the case.
It's insane. It's fucking.
I'm not arguing that. It's just like like, to me, you know, I watch a lot of movies and stuff, so when I see, like, people getting murdered by the millions, it no longer shocks me when I'm seeing it in that medium. But we don't see a lot of, okay, in some movies we do, yeah, but in, like, the main culture of it, we don't see racism in that big of a fashion, because it's just not taken that way. Or not in the U.S. anyway.
Have you happened to see the top 40 of the Billboard Top 40 in the last year?
So that'd be music. No.
Do you have a clue on what's on the top 40? Just the slightest clue.
Chris,
if I start naming the biggest names, you would probably know them. You would know Justin Bieber. You would know Lil Wayne. Maybe you wouldn't know their music, but you've heard of them.
In regards to music, now I agree with you on that, because that's all it is the word nigger constantly. And
and that's my point. That's the exact point. So you can't say nigger on Twitter, but you can sell 10 million copies of it to these fucking kids today.
Yeah, apparently.
No, that's, you can't fucking say yeah, apparently, and just fucking go with the flow. That's why we're in the fucking place that we're at today.
Chris, I'm not going with the flow, but that's just the way it is right now. But I'm not.
No, but what Chris is saying is that by you just glossing over that, moving on, is that you, not you specifically, but you as a person in the society, is just accepting the fact, and you just move right along.
I disagree. I'm not accepting it. Well, hold on. No, I don't accept it. I just understand it, and like you guys do. I'm not for it. I'm always against that stuff. I'm all for free speech, man, of any kind. I mean, I know you guys, but I'm really open with this stuff in my public life. I mean, it is what it is.
The problem that we have as a society today is that we let these fucking guys with big fucking microphones and their little dumb cause fucking run rampant without fucking addressing the hypocrisy of their bullshit. Every time Al fucking Sharpton comes on and says a guy like Anthony Cumia should be fired, somebody should be popping up the latest goddamn Jay-Z record and saying, Jay-Z says nigger 200 times on this disc, and we're selling it to our kids in your fucking community, cocksucker. What's your opinion on that? Why aren't you stopping that, you fucking piece of shit? That's what needs to be said, and no one has the fucking stones to say it, ever. Ever.
Yeah, no one in the media does have the quote stones to say it, but I mean, I certainly agree. It really annoys me actually, because again, I do live in Baton Rouge, and I work in, you know, I don't work in it, but I'm always in the music scene, so people always hand me mixtapes whether I want them or not, and 9 times out of 10 you hear the word nigger. I mean, that's the most common word used.
So are you offended by that?
Oh, you're gonna have a hard time offending me, but you know,
even if he was, though, what difference does it make?
Well, I was making a joke. I was sort of making a joke there that, this is offensive. I can't believe you handed me this tape because I'm offended by it.
No, but I'm not, again, I just need to stress this now. If I even implied this, I apologize. I don't accept it.
Wait a minute. Stop. Why are you apologizing? Why are you...
I'm going to tell you. I was apologizing to you two if I made the implication that I was...
don't apologize. Don't apologize.
I'm not sorry at all. I take it back.
This is your thoughts. Don't apologize to me or apologize to Chris or our listeners. This is your thoughts, okay? I don't happen anymore. Well, listen, I don't have to agree with what you're going to say, but don't apologize for it if it's something you believe in.
Okay, that's done. No more. But so again, I'm not accepting it, because I'm always, again, at work, actually. I work as a chef, and, you know, we get paid a lot, so I get really mad when I'm working with people who are stupid like this. And they'd say things all the time. They'd have a lot of basically undercoated white jokes. And I'm not dumb, and so I'm not a genius either. But, you know, I hear that, and the first thing I say is, well, what does that mean? You know, just to see what they say, and they'll immediately back down because, you know, you're calling it out. And when I say they, I mean stereotypical black people. But, you know, whenever I have made black jokes, I am who I am. Oh, they immediately get pissed. And my first reaction is, fuck it, fire me. I don't have time to deal with this. So, I mean, I put up with it enough in my own life. But, you know, that's just the way it's becoming now. But at the same time, no, I mean, I'm always against that stuff. I kind of wish I had a mic, because then I would be preaching it, but then I'd be fired in a day for a Twitter feed post. So,
well, you can have a mic, my friend.
yeah, but I mean, you know what I mean. But I should have said this. If I had a mic and a huge audience.
Yeah, but that doesn't come overnight. Chris and I have been building this for 20 years.
Oh, I know. I've actually been around for about 2 years of it, and I've enjoyed every step. But you know, I kind of agree. Well, I do agree, but that's just the way it seems to be. Like, for example, I posted a link in the chat. I don't think anyone clicked it. Maybe they did. There's to a website called Think Progress. Chris, you've probably heard of it. thinkprogress.org.
I've been.
I don't like it at all. It's basically, if you go to the comments, it's all what I call stereotypical liberal bullshit, which is, you know, everyone needs to hold hands and get along. You know the deal. And, you know, you can read the comments there, but that honestly reflects what I think a lot of society is like. It's like if you turned on MSNBC and watched it, it'd be a similar thing.
But the problem is that we've built. The problem is that we never try to change the society to fucking being strong. We've changed the society to stop being strong. You know, when we were in school, when I was in school, which was, you know, in the 80s, 82 to 86 is when I was in high school, there was none of this fucking kowtowing because somebody fucking said something to you or whatever. Somebody said the wrong word to you, you punched them in the fucking mouth. And you dealt with it.
Right.
Now everybody thinks that everybody has to be the same. Everybody has to be fucking non-offended. Everybody's got to be right. You know, everybody fits in the same little box, and that's bullshit.
Oh, I agree. I mean, to me, a very example of a boring conversation is when everyone agrees. Yeah, and if that kind of gets even more truthful when you have more and more people. Like, for example, I just mentioned the people I work with. Half the reason why I enjoy going in there is because they all disagree with me. So I can sit there and point it out. But I've never once said, you should see what I see because you're making me mad or offended, if you will. I mean, I don't agree with it. But, you know, I don't even know how to say it other than that. It's just, I get why XM fired him. I don't agree with it. But I get it because they felt like they had to respond because that's what we've become. And it's gotten worse. I mean, I'm only 23, but I've noticed that once I started paying attention about 2011, and I just noticed that getting more and more prominent.
So you're a Jennifer fan. You woke up and paid attention.
Yeah, except I'm not stupid. I mean, I'm the one who went and listened. Like, I had a week off, and some days were spent busy doing stuff. But one day I was doing nothing, and I said, you know what? They ripped on her. I got to see what this is. I'm sure it's bad, but how bad is it? And not to change the conversation, but I went and listened to it, and I felt like I got dumber because she constantly does this. Well, insert topic here, and then no bridge. Well, insert topic here, and that's no way to talk. You're confusing me. And then when you're not confusing me, you're boring me. So I turned it off at about 30 minutes in.
Nice.
I mean, but yeah, no, Jennifer. I didn't wake up and pay attention. I think when Jennifer wakes up and pays attention, she just now realized what room she was in. Oh. I mean, no, not a fan. I actually hate her, and I've never met her.
Right.
And I'm aware. Wow. I'm aware hate's a very powerful word. But anywho, I mean, honestly, she'd probably be one of the people who agree with what we're saying. She guys got pissy about bands that you never even insulted. Imagine if you would have insulted them. Well, she'd probably miss it. But, you know, well, I don't know. Who can tell what she's thinking? But, so, again, I don't know how many more times I can say it. Really, it just makes me angrier. But yeah, I honestly think that's why they had to respond. And when I see people, I love reading comments on this. I'm sure you guys, to a point, do as well, if not completely do as well, because everybody's kind of confirming what I think, because they're all talking about the same thing. Oh, he's closeting racism, and if he is, so what? But he did say it publicly, so I see why they're jumping to those accusations.
I hear you.
But yeah, ugh. Anyway, I'm gonna let someone else chime in now. I said what I had to say.
All right, Brian.
All right. Yep. It's always a pleasure, guys. Fuck you, pal.
All right. Phones are open, 800-497-5891. 800-497-5891. All right, I found the article I was looking for.
Okay.
This is a guy I've actually listened to because he's local here in the Chicago area.
Okay.
He's former Representative Joe Walsh, local Chicago guy.
Yeah.
Radio show guy. Claims he was forced off his radio show over racial slurs.
All right.
Former Illinois Republican Representative Joe Walsh claims he was kicked off his own radio show Thursday over a discussion about racial slurs. Walsh took to Twitter, i.e. Anthony Cumia, Thursday evening to sound off on the incident, saying he was suspended from the station until further notice and will learn about any repercussions on Friday.
Okay.
So this is his Twitter feed. Yeah. Tried to talk about racial slurs tonight. The radio station sent me home. Don't know what's going to happen next. We'll find out on Friday at 5 p.m.
Right.
Next one. Just got kicked off the air until further notice. Tried to have an honest discussion about racist terms, and management censored my language.
Nice.
Representatives from WIND, the Chicago station that broadcast the Joe Walsh Show, told MSNBC yesterday, AM 560, The Answer, Joe Walsh conducted a segment on his show regarding the recent controversy about the name of the Washington Redskins.
Okay.
During the segment, Joe intended to cite several common racial slurs as examples. He did not in any way use them in a defamatory or derogatory manner, simply as examples.
Right.
However, AM 560, The Answer, did not allow them to go on the air. AM 560, The Answer, has a policy of not using certain words on the air that are highly inflammatory and offensive, even if the context of the discussion of those words are offensive.
Okay.
We will continue that policy. Joe Walsh will be back on the air tonight, Friday, 5 p.m. Walsh, who has a reputation for controversial rhetoric, said on Twitter that his comments related to the Washington Redskins debate and how the name compares to other racial slurs.
Right.
The United States Patent and Trademark Office canceled 6 federal trademark registrations for the football team earlier this week. Political civil rights organizations and sports leaders continued the decade-old debate about the meaning of the term redskin, which somehow says possesses negative racial connotations.
Yeah.
Walsh also mentioned on Twitter that the station's management cut to a commercial when he said other words besides redskins.
What did he say?
He said nigger.
Oh.
He said that compared to the word redskins, people are saying that saying redskins to an Indian is akin to saying nigger to a black person.
Is that what he said?
That's what he said.
Okay, what's wrong with that?
Well, they said that he can't use the word nigger even in context of this. So basically what he's saying is he was saying, well, how come I can say redskin freely, but I can't say nigger freely when it's been stated that saying redskin to an Indian is akin to saying nigger to a black person?
So stupid.
I know. So they kicked him off the air for making that comparison.
And he's fired?
No, he's not fired, but he got booted off the air for his show and sent home.
Forever. Yes, it's bad.
So you know, the thought process there is that it's just as bad as saying nigger. So he's saying, well, how come I can say redskin and not get chastised, but I can't say nigger without getting people upset?
Right.
When they're telling me that they're equal.
Oh, Mom in the chat room, I find the term redskins offensive. It slights all the other different kind of potatoes that are equally as tasty.
Right. So that's what got him booted.
Unbelievable.
Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
Now, see, that's kind of the point I was trying to make. Everything is in context. You have to consider the context of what every comment is made. And yeah, who's the judge? well, nobody's the judge, but somebody has to be the judge at some point.
So your choice is that. See, here's my problem. I agree with you, Doghouse, but the problem with the thought there is that you can't let the precedent be set and then all of a sudden change it. You can't do it.
I'm a big believer, and not to get into this whole stupid conservative/liberal debate, but I hear a lot of conservatives, they want everything to be either all one way or all the other way. I'm a big believer in it's got to be case by case.
Okay.
Because not everything is the same.
But what case says, tell me a case where being offended should be reason enough to be fired when you're hired to fucking be a shock jock.
No, I don't mean that. In that case, I mean you'd have to go way over the line for me to say that a shock jock should be fired for being offended.
Well, again, now see, you're using
I'm saying
you're using veiled terms because you're saying way over the line.
What is the line?
Where is the line?
Where is it?
It's like porn. You can't describe it, but you know what it is when you see it.
Okay. See, everything
like this, Joe.
Well, I'm not saying you're wrong, Doghouse. Believe me, I appreciate all your points, but the thing is everything is subjective.
It is.
You use that term. Well, if it doesn't go way over the line.
Well, that's because not everything is as black and white as some people would wish it were. It would make life so much easier if everything was black and white, but it ain't.
Okay, but so I'll go back to the Anthony circumstance in your point. They let this guy say exactly the kind of stuff that he said in his Twitter feed for years. Not weeks, not days. It wasn't a few days. They've had years to hear this.
Okay, that's fine. But
so then should he be fired now because the media jumped on it?
Yes. Apparently,
you think he should be fired now?
I don't think he should necessarily be fired, but here's the thing with this Joe Walsh thing was brought up. Okay,
yeah.
He says nigger on the air.
Yeah.
But taken in the context that he was using it, he wasn't being malicious about it.
Okay. And he was suspended.
That's different from what Anthony was doing. Even though
he
Anthony
was suspended
didn't
anyway.
Use the word nigger.
But he was suspended. He was suspended for using it in the non-offensive connotation. Reason? Because someone might hear it and be offended.
That's why I stuck up for Joe Walsh and not so much for Anthony.
I don't know, man. I just think that you can't set a precedent. You can't hire people to do a certain thing, a certain type of a job, and then fire them for doing it.
No argument there.
If you let the behavior go as an organization for years, when the media raises up, you have to defend that. You have to defend your employee and say, you know what? We don't agree with it, but that's the way it is. And that's what Sirius should have done.
Okay, no argument. But, by the way, is this Joe Walsh the Eagle?
No. It's not Joe Walsh the Eagle, no.
That guy wouldn't have given two
shits. Joe Walsh the Eagle have a radio show, too?
I think he does. I think he has some kind of like underground garage show or something, kind of like Little Steven or something.
I thought he was like a shock jock for a while. But anyway, this Joe Walsh, I'm going to guess from the fact that he's on the station called The Answer, I'm going to guess he probably wasn't really a shock jock. He's probably more of a news talk guy.
Well, he is. They air what's his name? Dennis Miller show, and those type of shows.
By the way, what the hell happened to Dennis Miller? He used to be funny. And then 9/11 happened, and he lost his fucking sense of humor.
Right.
But, I mean, he's operating in a whole different format and paradigm than if I can use the word paradigm for the first time in my life, than like an Opie and Anthony were. Number one, because he's on terrestrial radio. Number two, because he's not in a shock jock format where they hired him to be shocking.
Right.
But again, I mean, just taking the context of what he said, honestly,
I just think the whole point is being missed here, Doghouse. I don't care that Anthony got fired. I don't know I mean, I know Jim a little bit, but I don't know Anthony. And whatever. I don't necessarily agree with what he said, to be perfectly honest, in his Twitter rant. That's not where I have the problem. The problem that I have is that SiriusXM is the kind of company that profits over and over and over again by shocking, cutting-edge, raw radio. And then they don't care as long as it's making them money. All the time that the money was flowing, it's not a problem. But the minute the media picks up on it and says that it's bad, then it's a problem. And that is the fucking worst, because it sets a horrible precedent. And what it does is it tells all these fucking faggot special interest groups that the minute they don't like something, they can control it. It gives fucking people outside of what should be the power base of an organization, of a company, and ultimately of this country as a whole, it gives everybody fucking, if you can put enough people together and fucking yell the loudest, then you can fucking change things to be your way only. And that's a fucking problem, man.
Okay, in that case, we're in complete agreement, and we'll talk again come December when the annual War on Christmas debate comes up.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure of it.
And all the angry thumpers start complaining, how come they have to say happy holidays? Why can't I send a Christmas card?
Yeah, well, they can.
Well, and not to veer off onto that subject, but why can't they say Merry Christmas?
Yeah. How about this?
They can.
Nobody's
saying
anybody
they can.
that doesn't like it.
I've never, you know what? I've never said Merry Christmas to anyone and had them be offended by it. Because you know what? 99% of people, when you say Merry Christmas to them, they know that you mean well, and you're just wishing them well. Yeah. They know that.
And guess what? If you don't celebrate Christmas, that's your own fucking problem. Because in America, we celebrate Christmas.
Well, whatever. Not everybody does, and so what?
Yeah, but the country as a whole does. It's a fucking federal holiday. We celebrate Christmas. On your fucking calendar, it doesn't say fucking winter holiday. It says it says Christmas.
And nobody's ever turned off a day off on Christmas.
Yeah, I don't see the Muslims or the Jews jumping up to fucking go to work on the 25th. So shut up. Enjoy your day off.
But I mean, at the same time, you hear people upset because, TV commercials say Happy Holidays, or this Hallmark says, get your holiday cards. Well, what the fucking difference does it make? Again, it's words. So if it's just words, what Anthony said, well, it's just words when we say Happy Holidays, so shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Or complain about it, but just fucking, you can complain about all you want, but fucking when you go and you start making a pitch to fucking have this fucking business closed because they fucking want to say Merry Christmas instead of Happy Holidays, or vice versa, that's when you're a stupid cunt.
Yeah, or vice versa. It seems to be where, that seems to be more the case where I live.
Yeah.
And I don't even live in Mississippi.
Well, but it's the same way. If people want to say Happy Holidays and not Merry Christmas, then say it. Doesn't mean that I got to say
it. It just goes back to what we were saying. Everybody, it's all cool until you're the one who's offended.
Right. That's exactly it. And it goes to everybody's core expectation in 2014 that they shouldn't be offended. Fuck off.
If everybody would just read these, just stop reacting to these fucking sound bites. Just sit back, relax, and take a fucking deep breath and realize this shit isn't really all that important in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, just fucking relax.
But the problem is, Doghouse,
your life's gonna go on.
Right. But the problem
is, it's gonna be cool, man.
But the problem is that too many people are living in fear of repercussion. That's the problem. Everybody's afraid of something. I'm afraid you're going to look at me funny. I'm afraid you're going to say something to me. I'm afraid. That's the problem. Everybody's just afraid all the time.
Or I'm afraid that somebody told me my rights are being trampled on. They got me all hot and bothered over something that's not really all that important. There's just so much manipulation going on.
There is.
That's a good way.
It drives me crazy.
Absolutely.
All right, that's all I got.
All right, hail and kill.
Fuck you, pal.
All right. So I got a little more on this Joe Walsh guy.
All right.
So he was tweeting. He tweeted, his first tweet was, "The station keeps cutting me off. I don't know why." Then he tweets, "And here comes the general manager. It appears I can say Redskins, which is supposedly offensive, but I say other words and there's a commercial break."
That's beautiful.
I'm trying to have an honest adult conversation about words without resorting to alphabet soup phrases like the C word or the N word.
Right.
If Redskins is just like the N word, why can I say Redskins on air without being dumped into a commercial?
Yeah.
And I've just been informed I'm off the air until further notice.
Great.
So there you go.
Stupid ass country, man.
There you go. It's like you could say Redskins, even though we compare it to the N word, but don't you utter the N word.
We are really living in a stupid motherfucking country, dude.
Well, here's something that happened close to home for you.
Okay.
This is a little bit older news, but it still happened near you. DJ who mocked a caller with Down syndrome gets suspended.
Classic Metal Show host Chris Aiken.
Well, it's close. It's not far from your house.
Oh, really?
When Kelly Baker accidentally called the Q92 radio station near Canton, Ohio,
okay,
DJ Mo decided to have a little fun at her expense.
Okay.
Kelly Baker, a shock jock who mocked a woman with Down syndrome after she mistakenly called into his show, has been suspended from the Ohio radio station.
Boy.
Kelly Baker, 30, who has Down syndrome, was trying to call a friend but mistakenly dialed the Mo Show at Q92, a radio station near Canton, Ohio. DJ Mo issued an apology at 2 p.m. Today at 92.5 WDJQ, stating that he is willing to meet Baker for a face-to-face chat.
Oh, my God. Are you kidding?
Isn't that like the beer summit that...
What? He's already fired?
Well, this happened a while ago. At the time...
He was already fired before he offered to have this chat?
I don't know. It doesn't say. At the time of the call, I honestly believed it was a prank. However, that doesn't excuse what happened or what I did.
Pathetic.
Ugh. I take full responsibility. I am truly sorry.
Are you?
And I hope I can earn back your trust. DJ Mo said in an audio release by Q92. The call took place January 21st, and as soon as Baker called DJ Mo, the trouble started.
Okay.
DJ Mo, you what? The who? The where? Baker, I talked to Kellyanne Burkhart. DJ Mo, you what? Baker, okay, I want to talk to your daughter, Kellyanne Burkhart. DJ Mo, uh-huh. I don't want to come across, obviously you have some sort of speech impediment. Baker, no, this is my voice. Some people can understand her, but others have a hard time. Baker's sister, Kara Ball, told the New York Daily News.
Okay.
Holy shit. Sometimes she cuts out a word or two, but still she speaks English. Her name could be Jennifer. When Baker realized that she had gotten the wrong number, she tried to hang up.
Okay.
She tried to hang up.
And what? She couldn't figure out the phone?
I think DJ Mo was reaching through the phone line and keeping her on the air.
Right.
But DJ Mo wasn't finished just yet.
Okay.
DJ Mo, hey, I can't, listen, I can't understand you. Again, I can't be the first person to have told you that it's tough to understand you. Baker, all right, never mind. DJ Mo, all right. Baker, I'll see you later. Okay, goodbye. DJ Mo, okay. Say it real slowly. Baker, never mind. DJ Mo, no, say it real slowly. I want to try to figure this out. It's a little game. As soon as Baker hung up the phone, she frantically called her mom. She was crying as she explained what happened, according to Ball.
Yeah.
She told my mom, I'm a 30-year-old woman. I have feelings too, and I hurt too. Why would he make fun of me? Ball said. The Bakers believe that DJ Mo can screen conversations before they go on the air. An attorney for the station declined to comment on whether DJ Mo pre-recorded Baker's conversation.
Yeah, he did.
He knows that she dialed the wrong number, Ball said. This never needed to be aired, period.
Doesn't matter.
Ball said her family was outraged by the DJ's behavior at first. They wanted the disc jockey fired.
Fuck off.
Fired.
Fuck off.
But after several family meetings,
brother,
the Bakers decided that to use the opportunity to spread awareness about how people with disabilities should be treated. Throughout all this, Kelly has managed to stay strong. She's received an outpouring.
Oh, stop. Wait a minute. Kelly has managed to stay strong because somebody goofed on her when she fucking dialed the wrong number.
Yeah.
Wow, is she fucking tough.
She's received an outpouring of support on Facebook.
Oh, good.
All Kelly wants now is to hear the DJ apologize in person.
Yeah. All I want is for DJ Mo to stuff her in his trunk, drive her out somewhere, and drop her off and see if she can find her way home without fucking being too hurt.
Q92 said in a statement that the company plans to start a campaign that focuses on the abilities and the talents of people who are developmentally disabled.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm just reading what it says, dude. You may have the opportunity to say something hilarious at the expense of someone else, but you can change how you react.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Fucking nonsense. The only way this guy should have been fucked over, I don't know DJ Mo from anybody, but the only thing I could think of with DJ Mo is if he didn't tell her that she was going to be on the air.
Right.
You know, because you have to tell them they're on the air.
Would you like to actually hear it?
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, God, yeah. All right, here we go.
Yeah, roll one, smoke one. When you live like this, you're supposed to party. Roll one, smoke one, and we all just having fun. So we just roll one, smoke one. When you live like this, you're supposed to party. Roll one, smoke one, and we all just having fun.
So up, we get drunk. So up, we don't sleep. We're just having fun, and we don't care who sees. So up, we go out. That's how it's supposed to be. Living young and wild and free.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I'll talk to Kelly Broker, please.
You what now?
Kelly Broker.
You what?
Okay, I talk to Tim Baker. I'll talk to
You
Kelly
what?
Broker.
You what? The who? The where?
I'll talk to Kelly Broker.
You what?
Okay. I'll talk to your daughter, Kelly Broker.
I don't want to come across. Obviously, you have some sort of a speech impediment.
No. That's my boy.
What?
That's my boy.
It's your voice.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, don't get angry. It's obviously
I'm
I
not,
can't.
I'm not angry.
Okay.
I'm not angry. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm talking to my friend.
Are you from this country?
Great.
What I want to know is, how does somebody accidentally dial a radio station? How does that happen?
Oh, dude, I'll tell you how that happens, because we used to have it all the time on 92. You're telling me this story. I'm like, God damn, I should have been fired years ago. Because we used to have, our number was one number apart from WZAK, which was 93 FM.
Okay.
0093, and we were 0092. And we used to get their callers all the fucking time trying to win fucking rap tickets. And I used to just fucking run them through the ringer. I would absolutely go, tell me how much weed you smoke and, all kinds of racist shit.
Nice.
I would constantly be like, I'd have them saying, I tuned in to fucking WZAK, or thanks to WZAK and Kentucky Fried Chicken for my Snoop Dogg tickets, and just fucking ridiculous shit.
Nice.
And I'd be asking them how much weed they smoke and how much weed costs, and how much it costs in their neighborhood and how much they sell it for. Just fucking totally stereotypical shit. I used to do this all the time.
Wow. Well, I can kind of understand that if the phone numbers are close for another radio station. I can get that.
It could be for anything, though. I mean, she's just trying to call her friend. I mean, if the phone number is 0063 and she dialed 0062 or whatever, and that's the radio station number.
Right.
I get it, but I think this guy's funny.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's being that mean, to be honest.
Yeah, he's just trying to understand who this person is and calling, and he probably didn't know that she'd misdialed the number.
No, probably not.
All right, let's listen to a little more.
Strasbourg.
You what?
I live Strasbourg.
You live in Strasbourg?
Yeah.
Okay. And speak slowly. What would you like?
I'm talking to Kelly and Brooker.
Boy, I'm having a real rough time here.
Yeah, trust him.
Okay, what now?
Hold on. I'm going
Huh?
to get him now.
What?
No, man. I'm talking to Kelly and Brooker.
You want to talk to somebody?
Yeah.
Who do you want to talk to?
I'm talking to Kelly and Brooker. No, man.
I can't. I listen. I can't understand you.
I don't understand her either.
Understand her either. Is Kelly in Brook Park? I don't know.
Yeah. So I would probably be asking the same questions.
I don't see this as being that fucking bad.
Right.
He was fired for this?
Well, I didn't say he was fired, but just said that he got in trouble, I guess.
All right.
Again, I can't be the first person to have told you that it's tough to understand you.
All right. No, man.
All right?
I'll see you later, okay?
Say it
All
real
right.
slowly.
No, man. No, man.
No, say it real slowly. I'm going to try to figure this out. It's a little game.
Okay.
All right. You want to talk to... Do you know you called... Pardon me. Do you know you called a radio station?
No.
Oh, yes. You called a radio station.
Oh, yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, yes. Well, now you know you called a radio station.
Yes, I did.
Yes, you
Sorry
did.
about
Yes, you
that.
did. Yes,
I
you did. Yes, you're talking to Mo. Do you know who Mo is?
No.
You don't know who Mo is?
No.
Okay. So I could laugh at you and you won't know who to call and say you're offended.
See, right away, he knew what was that all about.
That's hilarious.
He already knew that this was going to go down the whole offended thing.
That's right.
So you don't know who you called in order to say you were being offended. Hail and Kill caller, you're on the air.
Now here, I think the guy knew what he was doing after a while. Yeah, the first few lines of her, she kind of sounded like one of those people with a funny accent that call up and ask you if they can fix your computer for you. You know?
Who would those people be?
Oh, those would be Indians. And I love having fun with them, for the record.
So do you recognize the Indians just by their speech pattern? Isn't that stereotypical and racist of you to do that?
No, it isn't. It's called accent management.
I don't think I've ever heard that before.
The deal with this guy, obviously the guy gets what's going on after a while. And plus, the conversation is obviously pre-taped. Just the way they went from music straight into this conversation, like he just picked up the phone as soon as the song ended.
Well, yeah, it's taped. But
well, they always got to tape it, so in case the person swears, they can,
Again, I say, so what? She called the radio station.
Yeah, the outpouring of grief and support for her. You know what? That can't be the first time she was ever made fun of for the way she talked either.
Yeah, but it only counts if it's a corporate entity where there's potential for money to be gained in case you want to sue.
It's in a public forum also.
Right.
So other people could hear it happen.
Yeah, but again, there's no law that says she's not allowed to be offended or made to look silly.
Sure.
But
like you say, there's money involved.
Yeah.
And I mean, look, you know what? You're all big proponents of, corporations being allowed to make all the money they can, right?
Yep. Sure am.
Okay. So here's a corporation trying to save face and make all the money they can.
Okay, fair enough. But where's the
capitalism at work?
Huh?
The free market society at its best.
Again, I don't have a problem. I do not have a problem with people being fired by their company. I do not have a problem with that. My problem is the bigger issue, which is that fucking people accept it constantly. Everyone accepts it. No one fucking pops off about it. Everybody's like, okay, it's fine, whatever.
Well, our caller Brian, who kind of like straightened out his act there, he was just like, I'm sorry for saying this, and well, that's the way it is. It's just like, just shrug the shoulders and move on. And I'm not picking on you, Brian. I'm just using you as an example, but he did the same thing. It's just like, oh, well, that's just how it is. Just gloss right over it and then move on. It's like, oh, well, I guess we'll just have to swallow it. Big old shit sandwich. We'll just accept it.
How are you going to go back?
How are you going to go back? Well, for one, like with Anthony, you fucking cancel your Sirius.
Okay.
You fucking make your statement. You make the same statement they're making. You say, fuck you. You can't fucking bull us. We'll fucking wait for Anthony to do a podcast, and we'll fucking pay for that instead of your product.
That's how it should work.
As it should work, yes.
They're worried about their money. You vote with your money.
Right.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing at all.
That's the way it should be.
Okay, cool. So everybody that's pissing and moaning about, Anthony and saying it's part of a larger picture, vote with your money.
Well,
cancel your Sirius.
Right. Well, and I'm sure a lot of people do, but the original point is that Sirius made a lot of money off of his back for doing what he does. But the minute it's paid attention to, then all of a sudden they abandoned him like rats on a ship. That's the point.
And again, I agree with that. It's just some of the tangents that it goes off into I'm not quite sure about.
Well, regardless whether you agree with it or not, it's the fact that they use that up until the point to where it causes them a problem. Then, of course, they distance themselves like they had nothing to do with it.
And they built that monster.
Well, okay, cool. I'm worn out from debating all this intellectual thinking.
Go listen to your new Kicks.
Fuck you, pal. Thanks, Chris. See ya.
Later.
All right. Just a little bit more of this.
Very good.
The Mo Radio Show.
Yeah, right. I guess that was it. All right. Well, it's been a spirited show.
Yeah, it has.
I hope people who have listened maybe have a little different viewpoint of things, or maybe had their eyes open. And, one of the things that I wanted to kind of touch on here is that some of the conversation that I heard earlier today was that people, at least the lawyers in that medium, be it radio, have told or outlined it that if you're a media person, that you formulate the way people think and how they view things.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you have the responsibility for your listeners.
Great.
So I didn't get into that whole thing, but I was just wondering from the people who listen to the Classic Metal Show, do you believe that you or I formulate moral judgments for our listeners, or are their moral judgments already pretty much set within their way?
I would hope that it's the latter. Oh, my God. I don't want people fucking building their life off of what I say.
That's my point. So do we have enough influence to say, you know what? I always thought that black people were good, but now I think they're bad because Neeley and Chris said so. Or vice versa. I'm just using that as an example.
Well, I would say that the racism of our audience is way more than my own personal.
Well, I would agree, but I was just using that as an example. I'm just saying that.
I would hope
do
that
we have enough sway with our audience to make them think completely differently than the way that they thought before they started listening to us?
Well, I would hope not. I would hope that we have no sway on impacting their lives in any way other than to get a good laugh on a fucking Saturday night.
I would agree.
That's all I want them to get.
Right. All right, dude. Well, it's been a good show. It's been a long show. You guys got bonus time tonight.
Quite a bit of it.
We had a good discussion. I want to thank our good friend Eric Braverman for checking in with us. He was very insightful. I was actually surprised at his reaction toward the new Judas Priest.
I was too.
I was actually, because he was just like, yeah, kind of expected it.
Yeah, I was surprised by that too.
Yeah, I was just like, wow, really? Didn't have high expectations for it. But, he shed some light on the business, and, he could be very right that they don't really care. They just, okay, we'll make a new record, give us our money, we'll go tour for 2 months, give us our money. All right, we're out.
Could be.
I mean, I don't know that's the fact, but good point nevertheless.
Sure.
Also, I want to thank, what's this guy's name from...
Dave Rimmer.
Yeah, Dave Rimmer from Uriah Heep.
Yeah, from the Rimmer and Raper show.
Right. Uriah Heep's got a new CD. What is it called? Do you know, Chris?
Outsider.
So if you're an old school Uriah Heep fan, you might want to check that out.
And he was a great interview.
And then, of course, our good friends from the band American Dog, they have a new CD out called Neanderthal. Go over to americandog.us. Go check those guys out. They're out on tour with Tesla.
Right.
So they may be coming to a town near you. Good guys. If you get a chance to see them, go up and tell them you heard them here on the Classic Metal Show.
Yeah, or don't.
Right. And I think that's it, right?
That is it. Next week, Body Count.
All right.
I'm excited. You could care less, I know, but I'm excited. Body Count, a new album called Manslaughter. We'll be featuring a little tiny bit of that, and Ernie C. from the band will be checking in.
Nice. Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
Hail and kill.
Hail and kill.
Go ahead.
Hey, this is Steve from Detroit. I just want to call and chime in a little bit on it. What gets me pissed off about the whole subject is nobody's looking on the other hand. What about the racism that was being brought about on Anthony? I mean, his rage was coming from after racism to begin with, but nobody seems to say anything about that.
Yeah, well, the attack was just forgotten. It's all about the words. Words hurt, man.
Yeah, that's what it all comes down to. All it comes down to is it doesn't matter what he says in retaliation. It didn't matter how he was being attacked solely because he was a white man in the wrong time at the wrong place taking pictures. It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, I suppose if he filed a police report or if he had some kind of proof that took place, it's all alleged because there's nothing on his end that proved that even took place. So people are doubting his veracity in reporting that and thinking that this is all a prank, it's a stunt, he's overreacting, it really didn't happen, he was probably doing something to provoke it, so he deserved it. That's the attitude. Now, if he filed a police report and sustained some kind of injury due to it, there might have been a little bit something that slanted in his favor.
Yeah, I guess I can understand that, but I'm inclined to believe that even if he did file a police report, the comments that he made on Twitter, that he would have had the same repercussions when it came, and still would have been twisted towards his direction, of him being at fault for the words that he was saying, which I just don't understand that. And, and I have to agree with Chris on all this. I think it's just too out of hand. Just, we need to go back a little bit, and people need to start manning up a little bit and stop taking offense about everything.
Yep.
Well, no argument here.
I live and work in the Detroit area, and believe me, you see it all the time. I work in a predominantly black workplace where the workforce is about 300 people, and 10 people are whites in the whole place. And I don't know how many times I've been called name after name, cracker, cave dweller, you name it, all sorts of names, and trying to be goaded into saying anything to them. So I would be, lose my job. It's just, it's out of hand with the way it goes.
Well, you didn't cower in a corner and cry or anything?
No, I didn't cower in no corner. I got right back up with him, and got right back with him. I could play words and play games just like that. I grew up in the 80s too, just like Chris, and I just don't understand how it's gotten so bad. So, you say one word, people losing their jobs. Now, I never listened to Opie and Anthony at all, so I'm not going to buy a personal opinion on them. And Doghouse kind of pissed me off, to be honest with you. That's what made me want to call.
Well, that's
the Boot 71 in the chat room, by the way.
Well, that's a good thing, though. That's a good thing.
Yeah. I don't get me wrong. I like Doghouse. I love listening to him. He's very entertaining stuff. He kind of got me riled up a little bit with kind of the pansy-ass way of thinking he was thinking. I was really surprised that he would have that pansy-ass way of thinking. With the way that, the way he usually chimes in on it. Says, no matter what the guy's profession is, what he did, he was just venting out. He was mad from an attack that happened to him. He was venting out with the way he was, and he didn't, he might have been implying some racism in there, but he was really catching what he was saying, and he wasn't going out of line and saying anything, too derogatory. He was venting. He was mad because he just got attacked on the streets. According to him, he just got attacked and he was venting. And just because he vented, he should be fired. In my opinion, I think the Sirius is going to lose more money by firing him than they would by not just keeping him on. Really? Don't you think?
Well, that remains to be seen. We'll see what happens because the fallout.
I hope they lose more money from it. I really do. That way, like you said, get a little slap in the face because you really need to, be able to say what you feel. I believe in free speech, and I believe in the old-fashioned way. That's why we have radio, and that's why I love you guys so much. I listen to you guys all the time. I've been listening to you guys for about 6-7 years now.
Cool.
And I like how you guys tell it like it is. I'm a first-time caller. I'm kind of a loss of words. I really had more words I wanted to say about it, but it just boils me up so bad that the racism is so bad. It's flip-flopped, really. If the black community can be as racist and violent as they want, or have their, black beauty pageants, black college funds, and everything else, and it's all right. And I have nothing against it. You can, I'm all for being for your own race, but if you went around and had a white college fund or a white beauty pageant, you'd be persecuted for it. It's just not right.
Well, just don't say just don't say redskin out loud, okay?
Yeah, just don't say redskin out loud. That's for sure.
Do they make phones out of plastic in the same place you got that tin one?
I'm actually driving home from work, man. I'm in the car. I was afraid I was going to have a bad reception calling, but I wanted to catch you guys while you were still on, man. You guys had me heated up today. Sorry about that. Loved your books, too, Chris, by the way. I'm still reading Little Victories right now, and I read the Metallica book already. I love your books, too.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it.
All right, man. Hail and kill, guys.
Hail and kill.
Hand job.
There goes our callers.
Yeah. Both books.
They're
Nice.
buying books, listening to the show, getting pissed off, getting emotional reaction.
Like it.
Who would ever thought?
I don't know. Wow. A lot of callers tonight.
Yeah, we don't have serious money behind us.
Yeah, thank God.
God damn it.
How quick would we have been? We would not be on the radio today.
Oh, no, not for this discussion tonight.
No, well, because of a month ago.
Oh, yeah.
As a white nigger, we'd have been fired.
Oh, that would have been done.
We'd have been off the air fired.
Right.
And how many other things?
Well,
think about that, dude. How many other things have we done that we would be fired for?
Well, how many times have we seen posts or even received emails over the years where people have actually made that comment to us that I'm going to see that you guys get pulled off the air
Yeah.
Because you said something I disagree with, so you should be pulled off the air.
Right. Go ahead.
I don't like what you said, so you should not be able to say it in a public forum anymore.
I guess if the only way that could happen is if they throw you out of your house.
That's the whole point. You shouldn't be able to say that.
Yeah. God forbid you say something that people don't like.
Right.
Dicks.
I love it. All right, man. Well, let's get out of here.
All right. Yeah. God, it's already 4 a.m.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to leave you with a classic O&A bit.
All right. Awesome.
It's Anthony going off on children out of wedlock.
All right. Good.
All right. Well, it's been a great show. I appreciate everybody who tuned in. We'll be back next Saturday. Podcast will be up tomorrow, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it might be a little late, might not. Depends on what time I get up because we stayed up so late here.
Sure.
And I have a baseball game to go to with our friend Bill Peters tomorrow.
Nice. We'll say hey to Bill from me.
I will do so.
All right. Well, let's get out of here. I'm going to leave you with some classic O&A, and don't be offended because there's a lot.
Don't be offended.
There's going to be a lot of hateful words used here.
Oh, shit.
I know. So plug your ears, kids.
Yeah, kiddies.
All right. Till next Saturday night, this is Neeley along with my very good friend
Sagan.
We'll see you.
Bye, kids.